Have you ever heard of like MGTOW and men's right activists?
What?
You know what MGTOW is?
No.
No, it's men going their own way, which is like basically like incel culture. Like, well, not involuntary, no, they're voluntary celibates apparently, but they're probably incels. Never heard of it, and they're all about.
I know what an incel is, yeah.
Yeah, so they're all about like their men's rights, and ignoring the dating scene and basically becoming monks.
Sigma.
Yeah, and not having sex or anything like that. Having nothing to do with women, because women are all manipulative parasites that just want their money.
Mm. That's an interesting perspective that you have, Matt.
It's not even mine! Just saying.
Is the mic on?
Huh?
Is the mic on?
The mic is on, yes.
Okay.
I fucking hope it's on. It is definitely on. It is on. It is on. It is definitely on. Yeah, it's on. Yeah.
Quality.
Did you actually watch the episode that I posted?
No,
I did put edits in it, but nothing like MLG, pew pew pew.
Yeah.
Like Doritos, Siren Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
Nothing like that.
I wanted like epic cuts.
I'm hoping for
and,
one
like
day.
Music and like.
Yeah. I'll have to pay for an editor.
Explosions.
That'll be down the track then. I'll have to pay for an editor to be able to do that. Yeah.
I'll learn how to edit and then you can pay me.
Yeah, I could do that if you want. You could be my editor. Editor and queef, you know. So this is actually episode 16. Yeah, I know. After all this time, episode 16 has finally arrived.
What's like important about episode 16?
Oh, nothing. Well, do you know we actually had more than 16 episodes, but we haven't posted them. And those ones.
How many haven't you posted?
I think we haven't posted like 10.
Oh, really?
Just because like the quality was pretty crap.
Oh.
As in like audio quality.
And then my audio quality was fine. Just the quality of the podcast was.
It was
terrible.
like there was like over an hour of shit I'd had to cut out.
It was unsayable. Like
yeah, and if I cut it out, this is going to be like it'd just be context jumping.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless I put filler in there saying this is what he was talking about, we couldn't talk about it. Now this is the part we start with. Yeah, and I wasn't willing to do that. That's why we start again, because now I've got Chris on this episode, and we're talking about freedom.
Apparently.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, we are talking about freedom.
You chose that.
We're gonna try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The reason why like freedom's on the list, as I said, was because of the GAMSAT. But we can talk. There's a lot of things we can talk about freedom. So why'd you choose freedom, Chris? Because the only one that we could really choose from.
Because Matt said we couldn't talk about big booty bitches.
Yeah, well that's and like I said, that's the porn anthology in my third channel, where we just talk about sex and porn, and OnlyFans, of course.
Yeah.
There's a paywall.
Yeah, Matt's making an OnlyFans.
Yeah, I was actually watching.
We shouldn't say that because if Caitlin watches this, you'll be a dead man.
Nah, it's fine. No, we've got to make money somehow. She's expensive.
That's getting cut out.
Yeah. Women are expensive. This is my MGTOW movement right now. Women are expensive. Well, it's not all women, just...
Yeah, I think my mate, my buddy, he's like studying like computer sciences and stuff.
Yeah.
And so all of him and his friends who were studying it got together and they did like a calculation between having a prostitute like for like an hour a week.
Yeah.
Versus having a girlfriend. And, like, the girlfriend's, like, 3 or 4 times more expensive.
Yeah. They're very expensive prostitutes.
Like over your whole life in terms of, like, buying them food, like, their average cost for having a girlfriend and buying them gifts. And doing all of that kind of stuff and the cost it takes to, you know, go out and do stuff with them that they didn't want to do.
Yeah. Well,
and then obviously over, you know, the whole course of your life, them having like buying houses and doing all that, and then dividing that in half if you get divorced. And
who is this mate? I need to meet them. Don't tell me the name. You tell me afterwards.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
So
determine that it's like you could get like an escort like twice a week easy.
Yeah.
And still have like heaps of money.
So what are you saying is that you have a prostitute?
Yeah. 19 of them.
19 of them? Yeah. And you still save money?
No.
Or are you the pimp?
I'm the pimp.
You are the pimp.
I'm the pimp.
Yeah. Do you know recently...
I shouldn't say that. I'll get raided by the police.
You reckon?
Yeah.
I'll just beep it out. I'll just put I'll put a big noise. We'll keep it in. I was just gonna say it too. There's something that we were talking about last night, is that you get really misjudged sometimes.
Me?
Yeah, people sometimes think you're rude.
When?
I don't know.
Like at work?
Yeah, at work.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, and I'm like having to explain that you're just awkward
Oh.
at times. Like I remember we were talking about it, and they're like, "Oh, is he rude?" It's like, no, he's not rude. He's just restricted, and that mask doesn't help when it comes to his expressions. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Because like I think it was one of the cleaners walked by and thought you were being rude or something.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
At some point.
Yeah, because I haven't witnessed you be rude at all, but that's just because you have that weird sense of humor. I'm
just weird.
You're just...
I'm a weird child.
You're a weird child because you're like...
I'm a fried egg.
Like, you're being sarcastic the entire time. And like...
People don't get my sarcasm.
No, they don't. It takes a bit to
Especially not in nursing. Like, people either like have the best sense of humour or no sense of humour at all.
Yeah.
And so... It's either like me and you where we crack on from like day one.
Yeah.
Or hate me.
Or I hate you for the rest of the time. Because like Kaz was like, no, he's lovely. You just gotta spend time with him. Yeah, no, it's I just thought I'd just throw that out there just so you know, don't be so rude.
Oh yeah. No regrets.
No regrets. Yeah. I think it is. I think the masks do us a disservice for facial expressions and what you're saying.
I don't have facial expressions.
You do. You have a slight smile. You always have a slight smile on your face when you're just talking shit. So did I freely choose this friendship? I don't know.
I don't think you did.
No. What did we think?
Well, your description of it is we were just the two male nurses on the ward, and that's how we ended up being friends.
I really had no choice in this, did I? I was really forced into it. I feel
no
like...
freedom. Which links us into today's topic.
Freedom.
Freedom.
Yes. So, were we free to be friends? I don't know, man.
Who knows?
I guess a series of events led to us actually having to meet up. Well, basically forced to meet up. In that aspect. Yeah. So...
I can't imagine work without Maddie G.
Oh, that's cute. It's been a hoot and a half.
Yeah.
So much better, actually.
Still got 2 months with me.
Yeah, I know. It's so much better working with somebody where you can just band.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah.
Like, in like a particular way too, because like with some female staff members, it's difficult. Because they don't get
humour.
They don't get meme culture.
Yeah.
Like, because essentially all the humour is just memes and comments and MLG sounds. Like, yeah, so there's that. Anyway, freedom. I've got to stay on topic, don't I?
Yeah.
So
we're 8 minutes in.
8 minutes in. I feel like this is a good introduction.
So, Thought Anthology, episode 16.
Freedom.
Featuring co-host.
Chris.
Yes.
Or Chris,
yes. I'll be here possibly.
On
the podcast quite a lot.
Yeah. Well, once I actually have the actual pod set up, the studio, like, you're more than welcome to come sit in there and sleep in there. It's fine. I can lay down for a rug. Schlep.
I have a nap before the podcast.
Where does schlep come from?
My mate's dyslexic.
Ah, okay.
And
he said schlep one time.
He put schlep in the chat one time.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah.
And that's what it's become.
Okay.
It's just to have a little schlep.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like a joke between us.
Yeah.
Because he gets up at 4 every morning. Pretty much every morning on that Jocko Willink grind.
Ah, yeah.
And so it's like 8:30 at night, and I'll be like, "Hey, you want to like play video games or something?" He'll be like, "No, I've got to go schlep." So. Does
he still actually purposely write schlep?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, that's what we call it now.
Good. Changing the lingo.
Yeah.
Okay, so freedom. So with freedom, there are multiple assets to it. Not assets, multiple pathways you can go down. Freedom of choice, free will, or freedom of choice, the same thing. Like free speech, all that sort of stuff. You can do whatever you want with freedom. What would you like to talk about first? Would you like to talk about, like, is there actually free will? Do you think there's free will?
Like as in, what do you mean?
Like we as people have the freedom to make our own choices and take our own actions. If that's what freedom of will means.
Freedom to make your own choice, probably a little bit.
Yeah.
Freedom to, like, take action upon that, probably not.
Why?
Just in terms of, like, the way society sort of, like, tries to change your thinking and restrict, like, your own actions and that kind of stuff, getting stuck in, like, this, like, instead of just being able to do what you want, you kind of have to get a job, have to do all those kind of things.
Yeah.
Like, it's very hard to get out of that get a job, work 40, 50 hours a week, have 1 or 2 days off a week, die.
Yeah.
That's literally like... Yeah. It's interesting because I've met people who are like 60 years old, getting towards the end of their career, and they talk about how, I wish I did this, I wish I did that. But they've literally just spent their entire life paying bills, working, drinking, and then like it's just repeat. Like, go to work, go home, drink, watch TV, be exhausted, go to work. It's the weekend. You get your one day to do whatever the fuck you want to do.
Yeah.
But it's half filled with chores already because you got to clean your house and you got to go to the gym and you got to cook food and you got to do all this crap.
Yeah. That sounds like
and then
my
obviously, like, government constrictions as well on what you can and can't do.
Yeah.
Obviously, living in Australia, it's not really a free country, to be honest. We definitely saw that during the pandemic.
The pandemic. So I was just saying.
Seeing that during the pandemic, how quickly we went from, people talked about Australia like, oh, we got freedom of speech, but we actually don't. We're a free democratic country just like America, but obviously we aren't. How quickly it went from, everyone can sort of just do what they want within reason to we're all now in lockdown, I'm making the decision for you. There's no personal responsibility on making yourself healthy, no personal responsibility on whether you want to have a vaccine or wear a mask or you want to socially distance and stay at home and keep safe versus everybody else who wants to go out and live their life and that kind of thing, and just making that call for everyone.
Yeah.
And then obviously going into the future now with, like, I'm obviously very pro-vaccine and I think it's a great tool. I think it's like a marvel of society. I don't think people should be forced sort of to have a vaccine. Like, I think it should be a decision made by the companies themselves. So if a company wants to see a vaccine certificate, that's on them.
Yeah.
That's their choice. If a gym wants you to wear a mask inside the gym and wipe down all the equipment and have your 4th booster shot we're up to now, that's their decision. But it's not something that the government should decide for you. Yeah.
So, where I was going to start with that? Well, I've probably got a few questions, but the first one is: do you think with those things like such, when you started, when you were talking about live, work, die?
Yes.
Do you think, like, society's consciously created the scenario for that to be the case, or is that just a byproduct of subconscious behaviors that led to it? If that makes sense.
Like, as in, do I think we've chosen to, like, create a society where that's all that we've got on offer?
Yeah.
It's hard because there's not a lot of alternatives. So I've heard, like, when you look at people who are super progressive, that they want to talk about, like a 2-day work week and we should just have everything paid for us. And, people, as opposed to, say, America, where America like to, you look at a state like Texas or something like that where they've got, no income tax. It's on your responsibility. I think it's the Roosevelt way of living, which is that it's no responsibility of the government to like influence your living. So it's up to you to educate yourself. It's up to you to protect yourself. It's up to you to put food on the table. It's not the government's responsibility at all.
Yeah.
it's up to the the community themselves to get money to build roads and that kind of thing.
That's an anarchist sort of way of looking at it.
So in direct contrast to that, where they're saying, well, we just should get the money to, from somewhere. I don't know if you could even do that.
Yeah.
Obviously their solution is tax or just really create money. But we saw how that ended during the pandemic, trying to print money.
So what do you think? Sorry.
But yeah, I don't know if I think you can make it worse.
Yeah.
With us choosing and people choosing to constantly, I know people who literally just pay bills and die. I've got a buddy of mine who's literally just gonna pay bills and die his whole life.
Yeah.
Already hugely in debt with a car payment, just bought a house, $500,000 house that he won't be able to afford. It's not old mate who you're probably thinking of. It's another one of my mates. He's literally just, he's going to be paying the mortgage off for 40 years.
Yeah.
So he's literally already set himself up for no freedom at all.
Yeah.
Which is fine if that's what you like.
Yeah.
But you're never going to be able to just pack up house and leave or, pack all your stuff in a car and go drive around Australia or...
Yeah. I think this is probably the only house I'm ever going to buy in my lifetime with the way things are going.
Yeah.
Because I'll be able to pay off this house in no time because I've got it pretty cheap. But...
Yeah. I think I might buy a unit eventually.
It'd be a wiser investment than an actual big house. Especially if you have little means.
Yeah. I've got a couple of places I want to live.
Yeah.
Here's pretty good.
Yeah.
Have you been to Victor Harbour?
Yeah.
Victor Harbour's really nice. It's because I don't want to live in a city.
Yeah.
But it's nice to live near enough to a city.
Yeah.
So it's a 45-minute drive from Victor to Adelaide, the outskirts of Adelaide, an hour to the middle of, Adelaide City. So that'd be nice. So you can, go watch the football or go see specialists or whatever and still be 4 hours away from people. Yeah. Yeah. So it wouldn't be too far. But I think it'd just be better to buy a unit in a nice neighbourhood. And that's all I need. Yeah. And then obviously later on, maybe look at if I want to settle down with a family and that,
Yeah.
build a house.
Yeah.
I'd like a nice house with a big shed.
Yeah.
Bit out of town. No neighbours.
Yeah.
No trucks playing past my house.
Is this what happening?
Just that like I said, free lifestyle.
Yeah. This is the only reason I bought this is because this will make me money in the future. Because my family owns the other house, so I will eventually inherit that. So essentially,
You're gonna turn it into a rental complex.
Something like that, which it'll be good for the future. If it allows me to do what I want to do.
So obviously, with freedom, and we're talking about freedom and talking about wanting to do what we want to do in our lives and the battle between getting stuck in the rat race, working 50 hours a week, not having a lot of choice over what you get to do day to day.
Yeah.
Versus you've talked about a lot, Matt, wanting to get done what you want to get done and why you chose nursing for the flexibility to get that. What do you think long term?
Long term?
Yeah.
For nursing?
Just solutions in terms of what freedom looks like to you and in your own life and
what freedom looks like to me in my own life. First I'd have to start with are we truly free? Would have to be the first question.
Yeah. Because
I can't just jump in and just because I'd have to define it
what does freedom mean to you?
Yeah, because then I can answer that question really, can't I? Because yeah. Am I being retarded or
no?
No.
I think you can use that word, Matt. You've been cancelled.
Cancellation.
The blue-haired people are yelling at you currently.
Yeah.
They're outside. They're kicking the door down.
I can hear the sounds of complaints now.
They're too unfit to kick the door down.
They leave.
They've called the police and told you that there's a bomb inside.
Oh, fuck. Now the police are coming through.
The firefighters are now here to kick the door.
Yeah. So freedom. So, like, I don't think, like, there's a limitation on the freedoms we have, because we're already, like, to begin with, without a society, we're confined within a body. So ultimately, we're already, to begin with, there is those restrictions. So we're confined within, like, a biological body that has its strict needs, like food, water, sleep. So I have no freedom of choice to not sleep, because eventually I could keep myself awake, but eventually I'll pass out of sleep somewhere. So beginning with that, I have to work within the rules that are already set for me. So to an extent, I'm already not free because I've got biological rules. But then you got a society that has developed a social system like what we have now, which I have to play within in order to be able to live how I want to. I have to play somewhat into that system in order to get
play the game.
I have to play the game slightly.
Yeah.
So to begin with, I don't think we're fully free. The aspect of where I think we're free is we're free while we're awake and have the energy to make choices and actions. So I'm free to wake up and go for a run. That's a freedom of choice. I am free to be able to learn something new and put the effort in to learn, no matter how long it takes me to do that. There's freedom in that. I have the ability to be able to act upon something if within the time in which I have the energy. So the freedom we do have is within a confined set of time, a period of time during the day. So we actually have limited freedom. So ultimately, yes, we are free, but only within that specific time frame. So
it's confined.
It's confined.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the only way to actually better utilise that freedom is what Jocko would say would be discipline. Because discipline equals freedom. So
Copyright strike.
Yeah. But the thing is, like that's a universal thing. That's not something Jocko's uniquely come up with. Like Marcus Aurelius has come up with things like that. The Stoics have come up with things like that. A lot of philosophers have thought of that. It's nothing unique or new. It's something that's universal that we can come to. Is that understanding that the only way for us as humans to be able to become what we want to do is actually being able to force ourselves to do things. We are free to do things as long as we put in the effort. So when it comes to freedom for me in the future, I'll have to put an effort in order for my plans to come to fruition, because they're not going to happen by me sitting still and doing nothing. So I have to take action now so the future looks better. That sounds very American, doesn't it? America. So the question is being like, what does freedom look like? What does freedom look like for me in the future? As in, like, how am I going to give myself more freedom?
Yeah. And like, obviously, you seem to really put a value on freedom and being able to do. You've talked to me like so many times about, I guess the phrase I would use, which you've said, is that. If being tired means that I can live the life that I want to, then I'll be tired.
Yeah.
You'll get up on like 5 hours sleep, 6 hours sleep, but if that means you can go do a run, get the chores done that you need to get done, do the things that you actually enjoy, then that's the price you're willing to pay.
Yeah, even if it's poor. Not every day is going to be a good day to do it.
Yeah.
Of course, try to optimize sleep, but sometimes it doesn't work when you have a shift work as well.
So
in the future is to actually have a pathway where I can have better sleep.
Yeah.
So my goals are to be able to one day be so free that I can actually be creative and do whatever I want.
Yeah, live life on your own terms.
Yeah, so that means like who knows? One day this might be able, what if I keep building upon it and working towards this? This could potentially be something successful. That we could. It's not my main intention. I just enjoy the conversation, but that's an aspect that would be great. I enjoy conversation, enjoy learning, and why can't I just make a profit off that? Because to me that wouldn't, and then I could better live my life how I want in that sort of regard. I'm working the system in order to get what I want.
Yeah.
Which is something I need to work on and learn as well. I'm still learning how to properly do social media and advertisement and all that sort of stuff, and conversation and thought. So essentially I want to be able to work my way so I can live how I want to live, which is being creative, being physical, being Matty G, and
being managed. Just being managed.
Because I don't see like my current work as like I don't see that as my main. That's not how I see myself. I don't see myself as a nurse. I don't even see myself as anything really. So like, all I see myself is just like as thoughts and expressions that I want to do, which is multiple things. So I don't like to identify with one thing. I just like to express myself how I want, if that makes sense. I hope that I'm having that.
Yeah, it makes sense. You want to live a life where you get to do what you want to do.
Yeah, and
that you're living the life that you want to live.
Yeah.
And the decisions that you're making are because you want to make them.
Yeah.
Not because you feel forced into doing whatever that is.
Yeah. So I'm working towards more freedom.
Financial freedom too.
Of course.
Yeah.
Like, you know. Yeah.
We're going to start investing. We're going to start trading Dogecoin.
In Dogecoin.
Yeah.
I think I made $5 of Dogecoin. Anyway.
Passive income.
Passive income. Let's make the business podcast. I actually think that's a lot of the time with those sort of things. I think they're scams. Every time I see somebody reading like Rich Dad Poor Dad, I'm like, this is a scam.
Yeah, I think it's definitely. It depends. I think there are people like 2 years ago, I was offered to join like a foreign exchange trading group.
Yeah.
And obviously, you can get these scams all the fucking time. But this was like a real life. So if you don't know what foreign exchange is, it's basically just pitting currencies against each other.
Yeah.
So you buy this currency when it's worth this much, and you look at the market and see whether it's going to go up or down, and then you basically then sell it.
Yeah.
When it's worth more. It's kind of like stocks, but with different currencies against each other, and people make millions and millions and millions off of this. And anyway, these guys came to us, and we went to their house, and like I said, I went to my buddy's house. There was like 20 of us there, and they're like trying to get us to join their thing. And I was like, why do these guys want to teach us this? Like, if you have your own like secret method to make money, why wouldn't you want to keep it to yourself?
Yeah.
And not only that, they wanted us to do like this pyramid scheme. So they're like, if you sign up, you have to pay this much per month to us.
Yeah.
And we'll teach you how to do it. But if you get 2 buddies to sign up, then we'll pay you.
Yes.
And I was like, pyramid scheme.
Not sold.
Yeah, so whenever you hear someone trying to like...
Yeah.
Because these guys aren't saints. They're not. A lot of these guys make money off of ripping off people. A lot of these like investors and salesmen and stuff, they don't make money like saving lives. They don't make money improving the world that we live in.
Yeah.
They make money quite literally off of ripping off people and selling their shitty product over other shitty products. And that can take forms in like a lot of things. Like I know people that sell water filters.
Yeah.
And they're building a team of people to sell more water filters for them so that they can make more money. Yeah. And it's all a big...
It's all about... That'd be an aspect of greed.
Yeah.
But a lot of people that like end up being rich are pretty like... It's usually luck.
I think there's a luck and I think there's a persistence.
Yeah.
Like they say luck's part preparation, part opportunity.
Yeah.
Type thing.
Something like that.
So you can't just make money just sitting here doing nothing. You obviously have to be doing something. But whether you're the one that makes it, or someone else, for everyone that makes $1 million, there's like 1 million people that make $1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to freedom.
Back to freedom. So what we're talking about, like, financial freedom.
Yeah.
Got us onto that.
Yeah.
And getting yourself to the point where you don't have to worry about money.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people that's their entire life for literally until they retire.
Yeah.
It's just money. It's can't pay bills, can't do this, can't do that. So then I've got to go to work 6 days a week now instead of 5.
Yeah.
Or 7 days a week, and I've got to have 2 or 3 jobs. And
with the way you're living, do you think you have somewhat financial freedom to a degree at all?
I broke down my finances.
Yeah.
And so I've got more or less and less money than I thought.
Yeah.
But it's dependent. on a lot of things. You know, like if your car breaks down, you have to buy a new car.
Yeah.
Obviously, then you'll be paying $200 a week for a new car.
Or you don't necessarily need a car. If you're in a small town, you could ride a push bike to work when you get around. Depends on how you live.
Yeah.
But then again, you won't better do cool shit.
Won't be able to, you know, travel at all. Unless you get stuck on a fucking bike.
Heat of the moment. But as you're saying, sorry.
Yeah. So I'd like to get to the point where I can work because I enjoy what I'm doing and not because it's for money. Yeah. Does that make sense? Like I'd like to eventually, by the time I'm, 40, 45, have a few investments. Yeah. Houses. Yeah. Stocks, that kind of thing, to the point where it's like, now I'm looking at, I can sort of semi-retire at, say, 55, 60. Yeah. Because I've got my uncle and auntie, they retired early. Yeah. I think it was like 60, late 50s. And so they work part-time and they just pick up shifts here and there or pick up a job, go work, as she's a nurse, he's a chiropractor. Yeah. And they'll just show up somewhere. So they're up at Bright.
Okay, awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's the captain of the CFA at Mount Hotham. Yeah.
Awesome. Where I just was.
Yeah. So they live there for the whole snow season, live in the fire station. Then in the off season they'll work, so like on season they're at the CFA or working, just whatever. Yeah. Like ski instructors, working on the mountain somewhere. Yeah. And then off season they'll travel and then they'll go, living life on their terms and doing what they want to do. Yeah. That's what I want to do, is retire, get to the point where I can sort of partially retire, do a couple shifts a week of what I want to do. Yeah. And then ultimately just experience life whilst you're still young enough. Yeah. I don't think I'll be able to do it when I'm 20 or 30. Yeah. Like I want to travel as much as I can the next few years, but I don't think I'll be able to do it now, but I want to do it eventually. At the other end. I don't want to be 70 and be like, yes, now it's time to go and live my life.
Then break your back, yeah.
And then, probably my back will be broken before then. Yeah. And then have no energy to actually go do anything. Yeah. Which is one of the hard parts of society when I talk about like whether you have freedom or not. Yeah. We get to this point where we invest our whole life in working to get to the point where we can retire, and we're so old and broken by then that you don't actually get to do what you want to do. So that's why you've got to be very intentional, yes. And you've got to intentionally go out there and build a life whilst you can and take action to live the life that you want to live. Yeah. That's why it's important to get a job that you enjoy and that kind of thing. And be smart with money and try and structure your whole life into something that you enjoy, not...
Yeah. Something you enjoy instead of suffering the entire time.
Yeah, which I think society seems to do a lot. Yeah. So when I talk about like you don't have freedom, I think a lot of people don't. Yeah. I think they're kind of culled into a system where they're forced to work their whole life. Yeah. Even past the point where they probably shouldn't. They're 65 years old and still going to work. Yeah. So.
Do you think with that as well? Do you with like people who work like 6 jobs? Do you think that's also because they try to keep up like a standard of living that is not realistic?
Yes, yeah. 100%. Yeah. 100%. People are so focused on how they look to other people. And it's so easy to get sucked into that. I've almost been sucked into it so many times. Yeah. It's very easy to get sucked into this idea of needing to have the, one dude buys the newest car and then every one of his mates has to buy a new car. Yeah. And it becomes like, and then, I've got a boat. So then instead of just buying a cheap boat that you can afford, that you can use and enjoy, you've got to go buy a new boat. Yeah. That you're going to be in debt to. Instead of just buying a motorbike that you enjoy, you've got to go buy the newest Harley Davidson or whatever. And people end up in this cycle of they have more debt than they know what to do with it. And they're just taking out more debt and more debt to live this life that they can't afford. Yeah.
Which is a huge issue. And that's an issue that I see with like, I'll bring my girlfriend, because she likes to have very expensive things, as in like clothing, bedwear, all that sort of stuff. And it's only, and I brought this up heaps of times with her, and only recently she has had a conversation with her friends. Oh, I am not going to buy all my bedroom stuff anymore because I won't be able to travel otherwise. And yeah, so she's starting to realise that like having all these high expectations and these high needs will actually detriment to the other things she wants.
Yeah, and even not just high things, but also like wasting money on stuff.
Yeah.
The thing I always put to myself is, so now I've broken it down. I've got about 200 and something bucks a week. Spare.
Yeah.
And so now I'm like, well, do I save that? And that's after like putting money aside to go away traveling.
Yeah.
So it's like $250. So do I want to spend that 200? You know, I could buy this new thing.
Yeah.
Or I could go out to dinner.
Yeah.
And something that I might not enjoy going out to dinner, you know, every single week.
Yeah.
Or do I want to put it towards something that I actually will enjoy, like an experience.
Yeah.
Or to travel.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And I always try to make that conscious decision to, you know, put money towards something that I'll enjoy so I can do the things that I want to do.
Yeah. Which is good.
So I don't get trapped in never having money and never getting to do what I want.
That's good. That's a good one. I think that's going to lead to the most like content. You're going to be more content with life that way. Because all I see, like when you have conversations with people who are obsessed with like image and with items, like they're very miserable.
And that's all they talk about.
And they're boring.
It's all they talk about is their fancy car.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's their personality.
Yeah.
Their entire personality is, I've got this car.
Yeah.
It's all they post about.
Yeah.
On their socials. It's all they talk about in person. That they spend all this money on their car or their motorbike or their whatever.
Yeah.
It's like their whole identity is their physical thing.
Yeah.
There's no substance to actually talk about who they are.
Yeah. It's kind of like very toddler-like, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like I have.
It's very like school.
Yeah.
High school.
This is mine.
Or like you know,
it's status.
You know,
usually status.
Yeah. I have this thing. Look at me.
Yeah.
I think that's where it starts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you peak at high school, that's where you end up like, don't you really?
Yeah. But I think that process starts when some kid at school has something cooler than all the other kids, and then that's perceived as, you know, important.
Yeah.
And so people get in that cycle of, oh, I'm going to get more money than them.
Yeah. Which is, I just think it is horrible to see, but like it also, like with those sort of people also help society because they put so much money into things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
more money they make, the more tax they pay.
Yeah.
The more money we can
benefit off.
Yeah.
What
Well, yeah.
do you mean?
Admittedly, like even like in America, like that's not the you know, with the tax the way it works. It's not always the way, and people still work.
Yeah.
But not only that, like freedom, like I think going forward, I think that we're going to get less freedom.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Less freedom?
Yeah.
Less freedom in what?
In society.
Yeah.
Just like I think there'll be less ability to be able to do what you want to do.
Well, with the way it's travelling, it seems that way, doesn't it?
I just think with how many people there are.
Yeah.
Like overpopulation.
Yeah.
Problems with sourcing certain things. You kind of, it'd be too hard, I think, for the governments to take a handoff approach.
Yeah. It's going to be difficult at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's basically the apocalypse of the earth.
We'll still be working during the apocalypse. I was thinking about that last night.
Yeah.
I was like, unless we get hit by like an asteroid or something, me and you will still be working. We'll get to the stage where I think they predicted like famine for the next 3-4 years. Yeah. Possibly even 10 years. Because like they've stopped making fertilizer and
and they've ruined all the topsoil and shit.
Yeah. And crops aren't being produced for the last sort of like this season, next season. They reckon 1 billion people in the world will die in the next 10 years because of it.
Yeah. I I remember watching a lot of YouTube videos about how society will collapse. And that was like one of them.
Well, yeah.
Like drought food.
Yeah. The war on water.
Yeah.
As well. Which obviously all comes back to affect our own freedoms and what we can do, because there'll be limitations on, like, if you don't have the fucking money to buy a lettuce.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be pretty hard to live the life that you want to live and be free and do all the things that you want to do, because you're not going to have money to travel. People won't be able to travel. People won't be able to do anything. Like.
Yeah. So what you're saying is we need another Hitler in a people cull.
No.
No.
Just more responsible birthing.
Yeah, more responsible birthing.
We've got enough people. Let's figure out how we get the people we have here.
Yeah.
Housed.
Yeah.
Shelter over their head. Sustainable water, food. Make sure everyone's looked after.
Yeah.
Make sure you're looking after all your friends and your family, and we're investing in the planet we have.
Yeah.
Not, like what's going on around us. Not constantly looking forward to what the next iPhone's going to be.
Yeah. Which
instead,
that's going to be the doom of us, is that. It's
that kind of thinking is... Because people, it's so easy to turn off to all the world's problems.
Yeah.
Like, it's interesting that we're already essentially living in the end of the world.
Yeah.
The billionaires are building rockets so that they can leave the planet.
Yeah.
Like Elon Musk is talking about, the only way that we survive is if we get to another planet.
Yeah.
And people are like, no. It's like, yeah. Yeah. Like, to coordinate an effort to save the planet at this point, because I think they're talking about we need effort within the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
Like massive 0% carbon output, that kind of thing. Yeah. It's not going to happen in 10 years.
No.
We can't even get people to fucking stop shooting each other, like on a global scale, like wars and carrying on, let alone that.
People are too fixated on their own lives. And
unfortunately for us, for a lot of the normal people, they're not going to really get a choice over anything,
Yeah.
The ability to govern their own life is kind of going to be taken away by events out of their control.
Yeah.
By decisions that were made by people that, weren't them.
Yeah.
Which is sad. Like I said, we'll be working during the end.
Yeah.
It'll be like when there's famine and everyone's dying and you can't treat patients at work because there's no money coming from the government.
No saline left.
Reusing gauze.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
It'll get pretty shit.
Which could happen. People think it won't happen, but fucking during COVID...
It nearly happened.
Yeah, we were running out of everything. Running out of syringes, running out of saline, in ED, like running out of just... It's not available.
Yeah.
We can't get our hands on it. We ordered it from the company, but...
Yeah.
They'll get it here when they get it here.
So, yeah. It's gonna be horrible for people, because like there's so many people who like we are so domesticated and we don't know how to live outside of the lives we live. Imagine people like once famine hits, where does it survive? Like nobody knows how to survive outside of the world they already live in.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna be suffering for everyone.
Yeah. It's gonna be hard.
Yeah. It is going to be very hard. It'll be very much...
It's going to be very depressing as well.
It will be.
Because I think freedom is an integral part of you being happy.
Yeah.
Feeling like you're in control of your own life. That you have your control over the, outcome of our own lives is important. And feeling like you're in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
It's very important.
Yeah, that's also depending upon how you look at it. Like, being in control, you can be in control of yourself during those scenarios, but you can't be in control of what's happening around you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think like people feeling like, I'm living the life because I'm doing, what I'm doing, and I'm choosing to do what I'm doing, and, it's very important, but...
It is. So we're going to become like Apocalypse Vikings, or what are we going to do?
Apocalypse Vikings. I think it's I want to learn some skills.
We'll learn some
skills.
Yeah, like as like survival skills.
Shooting, hunting.
Same.
I think they're good life skills, and I think they treat you good things. Like they teach you good things, like even martial arts.
Yeah.
you know, teaching you like things just for life, like discipline and the value of hard work and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's also just good to have good life skills. Good to be good at first aid.
Yeah.
Because there's a 99% chance that you won't ever have to use it, and it'd be a waste of time. But imagine the time that you do have to use it. You know, especially with someone like me, I like going camping, four-wheel driving, going out in the bush.
Yeah.
Seeing this lovely country of ours.
Yeah.
There's no hospital out there.
Yeah.
You know, if someone gets bitten by a snake or, you know, go on a split wood and they accidentally cut their foot off or something crazy like that, or someone gets ploughed down by a car or any of those kind of things.
Yeah.
It's good to know how to, because you're all that's out there.
Yeah.
Especially knowing how emergency services work. They can't be there within 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Like you're out in the bush, it could take them, by the time they have to activate the brigade, get the ambulance, get the full drive ambulance down the track, could take, you know, if it took you 2 hours to get to where you are at the campsite.
Yeah.
But those basic skills.
Being self-sustainable.
Self-sustainable.
Yeah.
Knowing how to cook. Possibly even knowing how to garden a little bit.
Yeah.
Those kind of things.
I'd love to like go hunting.
Hunting, yeah.
I need a deep freeze though, because one of my goals is like I want to be able to go and just cultivate my own meat and live off that for a year. Like as in.
What if I can? It might be hard. What if I can get a buddy to take us? One of my cousin's boyfriend.
Yeah.
Was a professional hunter.
Yeah.
He was like on all the magazines and all that.
Yeah.
And so he goes
Okay.
bow hunting.
That'd be awesome.
And he said he was going to take us shooting.
Yeah.
Like me and my cousin.
Yeah, like rifle shooting or as in like
hunting
with a bow and arrow or.
Bow and arrow is hard.
Yeah.
It's a very difficult
you
sport.
You have to practice with that.
Just practice all the time, and it's a coordination like. But he said he'd take us hunting.
Yeah.
What do you reckon, Matty G?
I'll do it. I've been shooting before. I used to have my junior final firearm license. I've actually got guns that are under my dad's name.
You on weapons, mate?
Me and weapons, yeah.
Yeah.
John Wick's my lifestyle, man. Yeah, so I'd love to because I used to go to my uncle's property and shoot game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've never actually
We go during the rut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
go.
Yeah, bright.
But he he'll go hunting.
Yeah.
Kill a deer and then that's what he eats.
Yeah.
Comes back and they got freezers full of it.
Yeah. That's how I want to be.
Yeah. And it's very good for you too, as well.
Yeah, health wise.
Yeah. I'll hit him up. I'll be like, I've got a mate. Might be next year.
It's okay if it's next year. Just need a day.
But yeah, he'll be coming through.
Yeah.
We'll jump in the ute and we'll go down.
Hell yeah.
But I reckon it'll be fun.
I reckon so too.
I really enjoy when you talk about like freedom and that feeling of being away from society.
Yeah.
That's what attracts me to four camping.
Yeah.
It's just that feeling of being away, governing yourself.
Yeah.
Being able to wake up when you want to wake up,
yeah.
Cook your meal, and it's just focusing on the basics of life.
Yeah.
Waking up, when are you going to eat?
Yeah.
Cleaning it, maintaining your equipment.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Just taking in nature. That's why it's very good for your mental health, I think, as well.
Yeah.
Because you're not getting sucked into society's BS.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's why it's very important, I think. Some people enjoy it.
Yeah.
For those of us like probably me and you that don't enjoy society's bullshit, it's important to keep that main focus of I have to play the game to get to the end. Like I know for me, for example, with nursing, it's not the job I want. So I felt very trapped at the start of the year because I was like, God, I'm stuck in this shit. Don't want to be here.
Yeah.
Don't really want to do this. What am I going to do? I've chosen the wrong career path. I'm trapped. I'm not in control of how my life's going.
Yeah.
And then realizing that okay, how am I going to get myself out of this? What's the end goal? Where am I at? What do I have to do to get there? Yeah. And then so retaking control of my own life and trying to, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's just like those basic things of playing the game to get to your your advantage.
Yeah. Control the controllables.
Yeah.
Yeah. And work with the uncontrollables,
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. Plan and execute.
Yeah. And ultimately just do what I want to do. And
yeah. Go for it. You're working towards it, so you seem like you're being successful so far. Do you feel like you're being successful to the goals you're working towards?
Well, none of them have really started to come to fruition yet. But we'll see. I think we're headed in the right direction. I'm back on track with like work.
Yeah.
Going through like graduate year, I was just hating it. I was like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point? May as well just go find a job somewhere and then study something else.
Yeah.
But get there, get what I can out of it, the skills that I can, get the references.
Yeah.
Make the connections, make the jump.
Yeah.
Never look back.
Yeah. I think we should end it there.
The podcast.
Yeah, because I have to go to work soon.
That's fair enough.
Do you want to summarise what you've said?
What do you mean?
How do you want to summarise this? I thought that was a powerful message to finish it on. I don't know. So
like, in summary, society, are we free? Probably not.
Yeah.
100% free. But can you take actions to try and get the outcome that you want and get the freedom that you want? Yes, you can. It's all about working within the system that we have and having mastery over your own actions so that you can get the key things that you want out of it. Also, obviously, the trade-offs being the things that you don't necessarily want.
Yeah.
Not everyone wants to go to work every day, but you kind of have to go to work.
Yeah.
To someone not choose something that you actually enjoy so that you can get some sort of gratitude out of your job.
Yeah.
And then the more you enjoy the job, the better you're gonna be at it. The more money you're gonna earn, you can turn that money into freedom.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
All right, you heard it here, folks. Sorry I had to cut it so short, though.
That's right, Matty G.
Yeah. I think we could do a part 2 eventually. What do you think?
I'll only hate you forever.
I'll hate you forever.
Yeah.
This was Thought Anthology, episode on freedom, episode 16. Thank you very much for coming on, Chris. Bye.